domination.
What is going on, Utensils? It is I Am Spoon. And I'm here to talk about something interesting today. Here to talk about road rage. Yeah, road rage. I just want you guys to know, if you have road rage, then you've got a problem. The problem is not enough people are high-fiving you for being so awesome. Road rage is a good thing. And let me tell you why road rage is such a good thing. Because I have road rage, that's why. No, that's not why. I mean, that's one of the reasons why, but the real reason why road rage is a good thing is because there's a lot of stupid fuck-ass people on the road. And what I'll tell you about some of these stupid fuck-ass people on the road. If you guys don't live in America, you may not have this issue, by the way. This is mainly for people in the America. The United States of America. Especially people in the South. Arkansas is pretty bad. I lived in Georgia for about a year. People there are really bad. And let me tell you what they're bad about. They're bad about using their blinker, in a sense that they don't use their blinker at all. For the most part. Now, I am an experienced driver, I'd like to say. I've driven a lot of places. Since the age of 17, really, I've driven long distances, even. I mean, I've driven a lot starting at 16, even 15 I drove a lot. But 17 is where I had my first major driving experience. I drove to Austin, Texas from Conway, Arkansas, which is where I live. At the time, I lived there, and now I live there again, but moved a lot of other places as well. But I drove to Austin, Texas, which was about a 10-hour drive. For a 17-year-old, that's pretty cool. You know, most people don't drive that kind of distance. You know, most people. I realize some people drive that kind of distance all the time, regardless of their age, because that's just how they are. But for someone from, small town Arkansas, it's, fairly odd for someone to drive such a long distance on their own. Parents are a lot more sheltering in this area than other people in the United States, or even other countries, even. The United States, I would say, is probably one of the more sheltering countries as far as parents towards their children go. They're very sheltering. They don't like to let them do crazy things. But it helped me learn how to drive, learn how to be an experienced driver, and learn how to obey the rules of the road and the rules of driving. Not only do I obey these through learning, through experience, but also by reading the handbook. When I took my driver's test, and I might add that I think either my brother or my cousin were the first one in, from what I understand, my entire family's generation that have not passed their driver's test, both driving and written, the first try. I passed mine the first try as well. And let me tell you why that is. Because I read the book. Read the goddamn book. And you guys might think, oh, I can pass it without the book. And yeah, maybe you can. Depends on what questions they put on there. Some questions you actually need to read the book. Because they put things on there, you're like, oh, that's new. But some things, yeah, you can probably get that through common sense. But the things that you don't get through common sense, you need to read the book. Okay, I can't say that enough. Read the damn book. If you guys haven't taken your driver's test yet, I realize some of you haven't. If you guys have taken it already, then make sure you're doing the right stuff. Because if you're not doing the right stuff, you're going to upset me. I'm just kidding. I'm not just kidding. You will upset me. So, let me tell you guys how to use your blinker. When you're about to make a turn, do you hit your blinker then? Or do you hit it maybe depending on your speed, use that car length method? You guys know what that is, right? So if you're going 50 miles per hour, you need to be at least 5 car lengths behind the car in front of you, right? So I kind of use the same idea when it comes to blinkers, except you don't want to do it that late. That's actually quite late, especially going 50. 5 car lengths isn't really enough time to let the people know behind you. So, but apply the same type of rule. Obviously not exact measurements like car lengths. But if you're planning to make a turn, make sure you put your blinker on before you even start to hit your brakes. That's a good idea. Hit your blinker before you're hitting your brakes, and that goes for turning, getting in a turning lane. You don't hit your blinker when you're in the turning lane or when you're in the process of making the turn. The turning signal is not to be like, okay, I'm making the turn. No, it's to let people know that you're preparing to make a turn. Why? Because the people in front of you may decide to hit the brakes for some reason, and you may not be paying attention. But mainly it's for the people behind you. The people in front of you don't really matter, in fact, but still, it's another thing I can add in there for reasons. The people behind you may not know that you're going to turn. Hitting your blinker will let them know so they don't rear end you because they're not paying attention. Right? So it's not just for yourself, but it's for the people behind you. And I want to give you an example today. So, I was heading to work. No big deal. All of a sudden, the guy in front of me decides to turn. I guess he was planning on turning, or maybe he wasn't planning on turning, but long story short, he didn't put on his blinker. And I was looking in my rearview mirror at the time, because we had just came through an intersection. And I looked back, didn't see his blinker, no big deal. All of a sudden, he was like, I'm going to turn here. So he hit his brakes and turned off. Caught me off guard. Of course, I was plenty far behind him, so I didn't really have to worry about it. But I mean, if you think about it, if I wasn't following that car length rule, and then the guy in front of me decided to turn without a blinker, I could have rear-ended him very easily. So that's a problem. Why is that a problem? Well, let me tell you why it's a problem, because accidents happen that way. So that makes sense, right? So obviously, I laid on the horn, let him know, hey, use your goddamn blinker, don't be a fucktard. Don't be stupid. Let people know that you're turning. It's easy, right? Easy to do. See, that's one problem. Now, that's not my only issue with driving. Another issue is the freeway. You guys know how to use a freeway, right? On-ramp, off-ramp, those things? Yeah, and let me tell you why. Freeways are a consistent rate of travel. That's why they were kind of invented, so people can get from point A to point B quickly without having to worry about traffic. Of course, freeways have traffic a shit ton because the U.S. roadways are just clam-packed with stupid people. And people are like, oh, it's an accident off to the side of the road, or there's a policeman over there. Well, instead of switching lanes and making sure you have ample distance between you and the accident, they decide to slow down and look at it, causing everyone behind them to have to slow down, causing traffic problems. Herp derp. Sound familiar? Yeah, well, you've probably been in this experience before. You get up to an accident, you're like, why was everyone going so slow here? Why are we still going slow here? There's nobody's in the road. All the lanes are cleared. In fact, that's what emergency crews are first there to do, besides make sure they're okay, obviously, is to clear the road of any kind of issues, because traffic needs to keep moving. That is obvious. So, don't slow down when you see something, because that's going to cause people behind you to either run into the back of you or have to slow down as well, causing traffic problems. But that's not my real issue. My real issue is on-ramp, off-ramp. On-ramps are used to get up to speed for the freeway. Normally freeways are 65 or 70 miles per hour. So when you're on an on-ramp, you don't get up to 50 or 40 miles per hour and then stay there until you get on the freeway and then start accelerating. No, the on-ramps are designed specifically for you to accelerate while you're on them, in order that you will be up to speed when you get to the freeway portion of the interstate. Right? Makes sense? So it's very obvious how you treat that. Off-ramps is the same way. Off-ramps are used to brake and slow down your rate of speed so that you may make a turn left or right or go straight at the end of that off-ramp and get back onto a highway. So that's quite obvious, and the fucking kids outside are bouncing the basketball. I keep on forgetting that every day around this time, the kids go outside and bounce their basketball. It's always like, oh man, this is perfect time to bounce the basketball. It's every time. Whether it's streaming, recording, doesn't matter. They're always doing it. So yeah, if you're on a freeway, right, make sure that you're staying the rate of speed. You're not hitting your brakes on the freeway, unless of course you have to, because someone in front of you is a moron. And that you're getting up to speed on the on-ramp. You're decelerating on the off-ramp. Don't hit your brakes before you get to the off-ramp, because that's going to cause traffic. So traffic's a big problem. Now let's talk about something that isn't maybe road ragey. Those are really my two issues, by the way. Everything else, people can drive hurt derps. And I don't want to be racist. I don't want to be ageist. I don't want to be anything. Because it's not any particular type of people. I was about to start talking about old people in the way how they drive, like, overcautious. But really it's not. It's not all old people. It's not all douchebag, redneck dudes in big trucks who drive like fucking retards. And, you know. So I don't want to sound like I'm discriminating against a certain type of person the way they drive, because that's not true. I don't stereotype for the most part, because it's unfair to say this person always drives this way, because that's not going to happen. So I'm not going to do that. But another thing I have about driving is that people use their vehicles for not exactly promoting their view, but bashing other people's views. So, for example, I don't care if people that are Romney, Ryan, or Obama sticker on the back of the car. But when they put Obama's a terrorist sticker on the back of the car, something like that. Or when people put a Jesus fish on the back of the car, that's fine. You believe in Jesus, God, and all that stuff. That's fine. But when you put a sticker or a little marker that says something like, or you have like the Jesus fish eating the evolution fish, like what? Like it starts this stupid battle that no one needs to be involved in. I have one of those in my car. Just says FSM for the flying spaghetti monster. It has a little crab-looking thing back there. But I'm not saying that I'm right and you're wrong. I may think that, but I'm not gonna voice my opinion like that. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Here is your bonus clip of the day, me being silly. Yay!
Securing A.
Transitioning. Tac reload.
Losing C.
EKIA!